dances up in the chat. There he is. How you doing, sir?
Well, what's good? How you doing?
I'm chilling. You know, it's
Good.
Friday.
Oh wow! They got the hair change. Wow, I thought I got it before. I was behind in the chat. Wow, they got the hair. They got the hat change. Wow, they got that. I'm watching the stream. What's good?
Not much, man. I'm gonna enjoy a beverage out of my my custom cup
Yeah,
that someone
I'm drinking my own.
yeah,
I'm drinking my own drink. Europe.
your
Drinking some Europe.
merchandising game strong. What is in the Europe?
This is a Juve. This is vodka, blackberry, and some lime,
Well, that sounds pretty
and some
tasty
pineapple and stuff like that. Yeah.
and pretty healthy. Like your vitamin C.
Yeah, healthy. There's alcohol. So yeah.
Yeah, it counteracts. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get scurvy because you got your C in there. Your fingernails are not gonna fall off. You know, the ladies like a man with fingernails intact. You know,
Scurvy's one of my biggest fears. One
true.
of my biggest fears.
It's like one of those. It's like those maladies back when they called them maladies. Like now we got the stuff we got now, but it was like malaria. Uh, what was it? I guess tuberculosis would have been a big one.
Yeah, man. That's leprosy is also a big fear. Leprosy is
Leprosy.
a really big,
Yeah, it's hard to get
massive fear of mine.
down as a single person in the leprosy affliction in the face of that.
Yeah, it really ruins your dating. It really ruins your dating.
What does
You know,
what does
you
your
know what I mean?
shirt say? The crop on the stream doesn't show all of it. I'm not.
It says I am God by something similar.
Is that an OG collection?
Nah, I mean, nah, I mean, this is an old opening ceremony T-shirt. Sean
Nice.
Sampson opening ceremony, and Sean Sampson doesn't do his own work anymore, but I think he's a designer on the Moschino right now.
Got it. Got
Thank
it.
you.
Got it. What have you been doing in quarantine? I've been following you on Twitter, as we do. That's where you drop all
Yeah.
those truth bombs on us lately, audio bombs on us. But it seems like you've been like making a lot of records, like working on a lot of music.
Yeah, I've been working on. I've been making lots of records. I've been making lots of records. Wow, my ass thought I prepared the dab before the stream, and I didn't apparently bring my fucking bowl that I fucking cleaned. But yeah, I've been making records all day, yo. I just make records. Work on Dirt thing. Got this merch. I just basically make records every day, just for myself. Just make beats and just chill because there's no reason to really do anything. So I'll just be chilling. I got like so many records lined up. It
Yeah.
doesn't even matter. I'm just like into the process of making music for like myself. And like I just like working on like a stupid research project, which like who knows where it's going. You
Like
know?
you've been putting out like a lot of records for, I guess like a decade now, right?
Yeah. It's like over a decade.
Yeah,
Just over 2
over
years.
over a
Yeah.
decade. What's the like? How do you like? How many requests are you getting? Because or in more recent years, like I mean, you it seems
I,
like
I, I mean, my phone line is ringing every day, basically. Like my line, like my no, my line, like ringing.
they're
Like, oh,
actually phoning you.
telephone. There's no one. Well, I mean, they're DMing me, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If they had my number, they would fucking call me, but
right.
they're not fucking calling me.
Yeah, no,
But like, yeah,
it's the scariest thing.
my
Yeah.
line, my line is ringing all the time, like every day, like all the time. People trying to work.
And so you're like, when it comes to this stuff, like what was? Because I remember when, just to roll it back, I guess a year or even maybe that was 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's like 2 years ago, bro.
2 years ago
Like,
when
2
we
years
started,
ago.
working on that. Like, what is it that makes you decide, like, okay, like, cool, I want to work with, these
Money,
artists or this
money,
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 the
and
bag.
money. If it sounds interesting as a homie I know for a while, like it's like I didn't know you like that. Like I knew your name, but just like I gotta eat. So you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I mostly at this point it's like if it's money, I think it's cool. If I think it's fun,
Yeah.
more say if it's natural. Like if somebody hitting my line, I'm like, yo, can you do vocals on your thing? I'm like, oh wow, you have a really interesting idea. You want to
Mm,
work with the best fucking dance vocalist in the game. That's very interesting. I think you're fucking stupid for that one because that's not interesting.
right.
Like I'm interested because I'm me. You know what I'm saying? But like if I was your first thought because you had a fucking song to do,
Yeah.
I was your first thought and you hit me up. And I don't even know you. That's not interesting. You're like somebody next to you to have fucking hit up. So,
Interesting.
but if you got money though, I'm down all day, depending on how I feel. Like, I'll do anything. I do this shit real quick.
Well, that's funny to hear you say because when we had that, when we first did that beat, you were like right up at the top. There it was you and one other person, and it was the two of you, and that was like that. These one of these two people would be really interesting on
Yeah,
this. I bet that also that being said, like I remember all the way back when, and we mentioned this earlier, like when you were releasing on Plant Music. I don't know if they're still
yeah.
around, but they had a lot of quality releases. Shout out, who is that? Stretch and
That the Stretch and Dom. Dom's at Cobalt now.
right,
Dom's at Cobalt.
that's right. I haven't seen him in a minute, but yeah,
Yeah,
lot
Dom's
of
at
a lot of
Cobalt.
great
They got
house
a nice
records.
family and stuff. And Stretch is killer. So yeah,
Yeah, you had the it's about the house,
yeah. It's
um,
about the house. Yeah.
and that was a really strong package. I used to play the Danny Days.
Danny Days had the remix. Yeah, he had the fire on.
It had like a
Danny Days
crazy
remix.
bass, right?
Yeah, I mean everything Danny does is
Everything,
crazy,
true,
you
true,
know?
true, true.
Like I mean, I like it's like Danny Days crazy bass. It's
Crazy
Danny Days.
bass.
This shit's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I need to figure out what he's been doing. I mean, he was making like that sort of. I feel like you guys were when Miami was kind of in that, and I think you posted a video, an old video of this like recently, of a Miami like some crazy. It was like 2010 or 2012.
Yeah.
Were you going to Miami? Like Miami for the context here, guys, is
Yeah.
like Miami Music Week. I don't know if it
Miami
was
Music Work like
was it called
it
WMC
was. It
still?
was just called. It was. I mean, it was Miami Music Week back then, but they just basically it's WMC Miami Music Week. All the
Yeah,
same shit,
ultra.
you know what I mean?
And you were going to that like every year.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you had so many records. You must have
Nah,
been.
I went like when my career first popped off. I like went like a few years in a row, and I haven't been back in a long time. But, like I went in the beginning, like a decade ago. I was just like going and just like wilding on the streets. It was like so much fun.
Like
Like in
2010
the
kind of
streets.
thing.
I think I was probably there 09, 010, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I was. I think my first year might have been 09, I feel, and then I was definitely at 2010 also,
So
and the year after.
I mean, that it seems like that classic time is something we've talked about a little bit on the show with like people just getting re-inspired. Like A-Track would talk about like his like the resurgence of like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that whole sound. You came up also because I've seen you mention them with a classic board internet form, the Holler board. For anyone in the chat that's not familiar with, because I wasn't actually on there, I just knew about it like later. I think I was like at the very very tail end, but that was like that seemed like one of the OG like communities of people that were gonna become like the next like everyone doing shit in this game. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that like about the time?
Well, I mean, that was there was not that much going on in that era. Besides, that was like when it was the board was Diplo and low budget for they had this thing called Holotronics,
Right.
and everybody came on it, and people like put music and stuff up, and it's everybody like I saw Fool's Gold and Mad Decent get launched on that board,
Right.
I saw the first announcement there.
Oh, they
And
launched.
that's just,
Oh,
well,
wow.
it's like I mean, yeah, because there was no fucking Twitter. They're like, hey, we made a record label. You know, it's like, hey, whereas you like there's a fucking press release and there's a fucking record label. Like you saw that would be there was no Twitter, so that's where you saw it. You know,
Right. Right.
like,
The OG
and
bullet.
like
Who was on?
and
Who
like
was
it
all
was,
on there?
I mean,
Like
everybody was on there. Like I don't know, like you could everybody from fucking I don't know, AC Slater was on there, Jubilee was on there. Everybody Wax Motive was on there. Wax was definitely on
well,
there.
actually,
I know I saw Wax's old shit like early up on there, like early he like do remixes and stuff like that.
was he called
Fucking
Wax
Neo.
back then?
I don't know because because like I
Everyone
don't know,
changed
'cause,
up,
like,
right?
you saw it. It's like fucking Neoteric and all this shit. It's really hard to keep track of it. Everybody was on it.
Did you
Like
say
everybody was
Neoteric?
on
That's
it.
the Vancouver connection. I used to play with him in Van.
Yeah. Then I remember Wax had the fish code. We go deep thing and stuff like that. I mean, like I'm trying to think about
That's
people
right.
who like the ravers will know now.
That's
But,
right.
like so many people are on there. It's really hard to list
I
off.
feel like
names.
Flostradamus
You know what I mean?
was probably in that.
Flostradamus is on the crazy. Flostradamus is on the crazy. Like I remember, because like they were regular ass DJs before the trap shit. You know, like I mean,
Right.
like they were gods in Chicago. I'm saying like they like were just mashup, very very fire mashup DJs. Like I don't want to use the term mashup. Open format's worthy of the term. We were all open format shit before like shit got crazy. It's just,
Right.
like, nobody did. It was like AM
Right.
and Diplo and all those heads and everybody else doing the stuff like you play an MIA record, the whole fucking Madonna thing, and
Right.
then now and dance music, and like now it's crazy, and like But now you go to the fucking thing, everything you hear fucking Blur song number 2 at EDC every fucking stage.
Yeah, that just became what DJs were. I mean, mashup was more like the girl talk, sort of like really
Yeah,
like every two
I just
seconds.
yeah, I just use the term. I use that
No,
term
yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
open format. Yeah, yeah.
What? So what? Like from that point, like it seemed like you were putting out, a lot of like dances, solo releases. And did you gravitate towards like just like was it like the bag literally like if people are like hollering at you to like to do these features and you're like cool like is this gonna be my lane for a little bit?
No, I mean, no. What happened was I had sort of gone in really this dark world of my life and stuff like that, and like I wasn't. I had toured a little bit, and then I just like was really in the New York streets heavy. I was also really doing open format DJing still,
Yeah.
so like I would like okay, cool, like I'm gonna go play in fucking Toronto or Montreal and do the dance to white girls thing, play some electro and stuff, puts out, and
Yeah.
then the next day I'll be in fucking New York playing fucking Katy Perry. You know what
Right.
I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because I'll get that fucking bag all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like I like it too. That's why my music's good because like I know it works in the club. But yeah, but then I got really really heavy into that because it's like you go on a flight. I lost my agents and stuff like that. Like that stuff's cool, but then like that money comes straight to you, no fucking manager and stuff like that. And then you
True.
go to afters, play the afters. But that was like really hard in the life,
Yeah.
like hosting tables, popping, but like really whatever it was, like that was going on. I was like heavy, and I just stopped, and I wasn't didn't really like DJing. I liked producing, but didn't have my sound per se. I think I was really trying like I was trying to be like Rodinsky. I feel like I was trying to be like Rodinsky and Boys Note. That's what I felt like during that time. Like I really stopped and slowed down. I was like, this isn't the move for me. And I was like, but I have anybody can produce. Nobody has a voice and stuff like that.
True.
And like I know both sides, and so I just started working into that, and that's when like it started changing and stuff like that. And around that time, I did the Pitbull record and Ass Hypnotized, and after that, everything started changing. You know.
Wait, the Pitbull record?
Yeah, I keep on bringing. Okay, so I first started working with Chris Lake's people and everything like that because I did vocals for TJR on that song with Pitbull, "Don't Stop the Party."
Right.
Are you
TJ.
having a good time out there? That's
Yeah. Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so I did that, and then the Ass Hypnotized and everything changed around that time. Ass
Got.
Hypnotized and TJR. That shit was like a fucking big beatport thing. I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah. No,
dope.
that was a.
And everything, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that okay. So that was sort of a big catalyst towards right because
Yeah,
that
that's when everything really started changing after I was hypnotized.
interesting. So now because you've done like a couple things at least that are have done some plays like with Chris Lake. Do you guys
Yeah.
have how did you guys work on those specifically like operator and like what's the other one that I just played? I'm so bad with the
Give it
titles.
right back.
That's
Give it
right.
right back. Is probably the other one you played.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you worked the operator. I just said I had operator was I already had done that song like a version myself, and I was chilling. And Chris like, you got some vocals or anything? I was like, I got something. I think he might like this. I sent it in the pack that I sent to him.
Hmm.
And then I found out that was in the hospital. With my whole accident, and then I heard the song while I was in the hospital. Like the shit's gonna be crazy. And then, we have a relationship. We like worked out to give it right back. I like actually recorded that on my couch. I recorded Give It Right Back on my couch while I was in the wheelchair.
Oh right. Okay. Wow. So you're still even though you were like out for a minute. So basically, I mean, I saw the video because you've shared it before, but you had
Yeah.
a very near death experience where
Yeah, I had
like
a crazy near that shit. Yeah.
it was a D like a yeah. We're not gonna put that on the
Wow,
stream. You
I
just
told every
dodged
story.
that
Anyway, long
thing.
story short, yeah, I dodged the car, almost died, was in the hospital for months. Like I'm still disabled now. I couldn't really walk for a year.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just started fucking trapping out vocals, like just doing vocals all the time. I definitely when I did the thing for you, I was walking when I did your thing. I think I might have been walking. Yeah, I was walking. But I was like not walking as good as I did there. I like sort of just started getting back to life. If I'm right.
Right. I mean, that's crazy. That shows that, I mean, you can not let it stop you, right? Especially like you said, like it is about, you got to pay the rent at the end of the day. You got to figure it
I
out,
mean,
right?
it ain't all we're doing is fucking rapping and making beats. It ain't really fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's like oh I gotta fucking rap to pay rent. Oh woe is me.
Right,
You
right,
know, I ain't
right.
really that crazy. You know, like if I'm sick, I can fucking rap. You know, like if I'm hurt, I can still rap. It ain't really crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a gift that
Like,
you have, and like I mean,
yeah,
and it's taken you clearly like a lot of places. It's something that I forgot to mention in the plugs, but like you recently did a record with Tame Impala. Like,
yeah. Theophilus London and Tame Impala.
yeah,
Yeah,
can you tell us that story? How
yeah.
that came about?
I was yo. So here's how it happened. So I've known Theophilus from back in the day, like way back in New York and shit like that. And we chill. I respected his stuff and everything like that. You know, we respect each other, like whatever. And he was doing a party. He was doing a mixtape. I went to the party. I didn't even know who Tame Impala was. Real talk like that back then. I just like thought he was like a like dude who plays in like a little band, like cool,
Sure.
whatever. Pitchfork talks about you. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go to the fucking studio. I go to the fucking his house party, and Theo's playing these fucking songs, and he plays Whiplash. And I'm like, this joint's fucking great. And like I like kind of hitting. Like I tweeted the lyrics the next day. Like I think this is hitting, right? He's like, yeah, you don't. Like I sort of tweet, and he's like, he was on Twitter. He's like, yo, I'm in the studio with Tame Impala right now, trying to finish this thing. Come through. I was like, all right, cool, I'll come through. I was like, oh, cool. But I came through to work with Theo, not to work with Tame Impala.
Okay.
I didn't know who Tame. I didn't know who
You
Tame
still
Impala
you still
was
didn't like
that.
recognize like that his profile was what it was or whatever.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
knew
Like I
him
walked
from.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I knew his name, but like it could have been like any band, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been anybody. It
Sure.
was like, okay, cool, whatever. It could have been like, fucking, I don't know.
He's just like a friend,
Yeah,
a friend of
yeah.
your friend. Like,
Yeah,
you're,
friend of my friend. Like I was like cool, Theo. You know, Tame Impala.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You put this guy in the indie band on your track. That's interesting. Anyway, so I came through,
yeah.
like went and I helped write on some of the vocals, like help rework the chords and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Me and Tame actually like were helping Theo on like do this stuff. It seems like you're a really good producer. Respect Tame Impala, always have a good producer. I was like, cool, whatever. And now I went and did some vocals on it and stuff like that. We did a couple more sessions, walk stuff like, listened to a couple of things.
Yeah.
And then when when I posted a picture of him in the studio, and people were just like, "Yo, it's kind of crazy that like you're like next to Tame Impala, and like you're just chilling eating a hot dog." I'm like, "What do you mean? Yeah, it's this dude. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's this guy. I guess he liked this guy,
Right.
fashion band." And I was like, and then it came out. Like, I looked. I was like, "Oh wow, this guy's like a Coachella headliner and shit like that."
So you didn't realize the clout until like after,
after
way
after it came
after,
out, until people started reacting to me being on the song.
on the song that
Like,
was
really?
released.
Yeah, like even when I first saw, like, yeah, it's like, and then people like when it came to like, is this you? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, like I'm not even listed on the thing because like I don't even care, you know. I think I should be listed on it though,
Right.
like just for like now that I know it's big, it's like just for like I don't care. I
Right.
would like that, like I don't care. It's not like I care because I already said I would you want to be. Listed.
Someone better clip
But
this.
yeah,
This is yeah. Every the people got to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like yeah, so anyway, so I didn't even know like who Tame Impala was until afterwards. And people were like, this shit's crazy. Like, oh yeah, wow. And like even still, I didn't even listen to Tame Impala until the pandemic. Real talk. like the only Tame Impala songs I had heard was the song I'm on. I listen to that song all the time. But
Oh,
I
you
never
still
heard the
didn't
album or
like?
anything. No.
You just didn't. Do you recognize? Because I feel like you can't escape a couple of. I mean, he's been making records for also like over a decade, and some of them are just kind of like on shows and like they're kind of like everywhere, you know, like Krang
Like,
Bin
they
now.
are,
But
like I kind of heard, but like it's just like it's like Raya music for me, you know, like it's like.
did you say
like,
Raya
like,
music?
yeah, Raya music, you know. It's like what influencer girls like put on, you know. It's like I'm like, okay, cool. It's really fire now, but I'm saying I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah,
I listen
yeah,
to
yeah.
rap. You know, it's like I don't pay attention to that.
No,
stuff.
I
But
get
now
it.
yeah, but I did see him at Coachella because like I needed to see. I was like, oh, this is really dope. This is fire. I still didn't listen to it, you know.
Oh, so you went and saw him at Coachella like later on.
Yeah, I did see him at Coachella last year. I did the thing. I'm like, let me go to repeat, but like, I saw repeat there for like a couple songs.
Right.
I did. Like I didn't watch the whole experience, you know.
Right.
I wish I like sort of did now.
I've never
yeah.
seen. Yeah, so I'm wondering about like because people said on the stream sometimes like if I know the person that makes this, like if you give me just an untitled MP3 and you're like don't say who made it versus if I know like so and so made it, like it does change how you listen a little bit. So like I wonder if because you were working, so did you get the sense that like he he just like it was like, oh, this is chill, or you were like, oh no, he's actually very skilled?
No. When I was in the studio and saw him working, I was like, I knew to pay attention.
Hmm.
Now, no, and I've been in the studio, mad people. Kevin gets his fucking shit in. Like he's like in and out his shit. Kevin was good, and Stewart, who was also working on fucking Theo shit in the production, was like they were like fucking locked in. Theo was fucking good. It was like one of the best sessions I've ever been in my life.
Right. So
Real
that.
talk.
Right.
Because like everybody knew how to do the thing. Everybody very, very relaxed and very chill. So I knew this dude was what's up. That's why you say to the producer, I know you're up with your stuff. I
Yeah.
sort of peeked and stuff like that, but I didn't really notice. Like mind wise, working up close with him and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
I know he was very, very talented and very, very
Right.
skilled.
Right. Right. Right.
Like that was very, very. I liked the record before I knew like he was about like how I liked the record.
Yeah.
Me liking the record is why I'm on the record.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? But I just liked it because I liked Theo having a thing. It was like not on this whole thing having to be like that.
No, that's
And I was
cool.
like, okay, cool. So I was like, okay, we did a cool record, but it wasn't still like, oh my god, you're like a really, really like I think you're really talented.
Yeah.
But I'm the sort of person like I think you're talented outside of the hype or anything. You know what
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean? Like if I go to the taco spot and somebody makes a really great taco spot, the taco person and Tame Impala are the same level to me. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like in terms of genius, like that's no disrespect to either of them. I just don't understand the clout outside of the stuff if I'm not paying attention to it.
Right. Right. The
Like
hype and all that.
that's all. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that is refreshing to hear that. Like, I mean, it can be merit based. Like, cause like you said, you were fucking with the record, and then and then you're like, cool, I'm down with this, and then the rest didn't
Yeah.
matter, and that's just like bonus like after.
Yo, yeah, I see Brett in the chat saying,
What up, Brett?
Hypeness. Yo,
Fuse,
Brett, the
what's
mushrooms
good?
have kicked in, my guy. The mushrooms have kicked in, my
ADMD.
guy.
Oh, did the mushrooms get the taco
The
guy be
mushrooms
bringing
have
the
kicked in,
heat?
but I'm good though. I'm sorry. I'm gonna calm down. I'm a little too hype.
Fuse,
I'm also on I want a big cup of coffee.
How much? How many mushrooms? Or how much? I don't know how to.
I think probably a gram, like nothing crazy, real talk.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
crazy.
It takes-
I ain't seen no crazy visual or nothing like that, but I'm just on the coffee, and I'm just like the mushrooms. I give you a body high. I'm
Takes
chilling.
a second. It's a good thing. Hopefully, you're not tuned into the stream because I got a lot of colors going on there.
Oh no, I'm watching the stream.
Oh, you're
It's
on-
it's not that crazy.
you on the-
It's just chill. It looks like an outfit I'd wear. It looks pretty chill. I like it. It's like a little sneakers and stuff. Yeah.
I liked how you sent over 4 different logos. 'Cause I did test them all out, but the black and white, because the colored one, it was still like just too many colors
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, the black and white hits. Yeah, I know. I like here's for logo options.
Always classic. Tell me about your trip from from New York, as you said before, your music career was started and most of it was in New York, and what brought you out to LA, and how's that been?
I mean, I came out to LA because I like left New York and I knew I was gonna come out to LA, and this is where everybody is just like the music is here. People always making. People live healthier because like, look, I'm doing shrooms right now. I can't really be in New York. I can't be in New York. This is like me on my casual, because like I'll do that in New York. I'm smoking dust. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like no, I was smoking dust literally a few months before I moved to LA. Like real talk, like 4 years ago, I was smoking dust. Like I get busy. Like and so like and like so people like smoke weed out here. There's mad space. It's very chill. It's very good vibes. Like just get work done, and like it's
Right.
just great. That's why I came out here. Like
Seems like the right choice.
Oh.
When you put it that way.
Moving to LA has been the best decision of my life.
Dang. Yeah, it's been good. So I've been. When did you get out here?
I got here 2016.
Okay. Yeah, I came out here like later 2017, so I'm on like my 3rd year. But my visa's like up in the because I'm from Canada originally, so we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. But yeah, no, see,
I froze in the stream at
what's
a
that?
real awkward position. No, I froze in the stream in a real awkward position. I looked at weird for a second. Anyway,
What is it? Yeah,
no, I
what's?
froze in the stream for a real awkward position. I looked kind of weird for a second, but I'm good.
Oh
now.
no, you're good.
I'm good.
What's this thing, I just saw I thought you were reading this message from Caro. I was at this place in Florida with my girlfriend. It sounded like
Yeah, I know.
the beginning of a story.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Like that didn't go nowhere. I started looking at that. I looked at myself frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Confused myself.
Yeah, I see. Like New York has still got that appeal. But I think when you live there, it's so different from like actually doing shows or
Yeah, I
whatever,
mean, like-
visiting, right?
Like New York is I love New York. it's just not. Maybe now because all we've grown up and like it's just so like I could like go. I wouldn't want to live there now. 'Cause I love the space and like I don't really like all the stress. I'm from Philly originally. I'm just over that shit now.
Yeah.
But at the time, there was a time I could not really be in the New York party streets with my people, and like I just couldn't, really be like that. Like I just don't need to be partying all the time and then going to afters and doing numerous gang graffiti shit. Like I
Hmm.
don't need to do that. Like no disrespect to it. Like the homies like all get busy and stuff like that, but I can't really be up on that. I gotta get fucking work done. You know what I'm saying?
So that reminds me of another conversation that you don't mind like getting into it sometimes online. I mean, clearly it's fun for you. I mean, you're one of the most entertaining people on Twitter that I know, and but just getting
No,
into it. And there's been a couple. There was another DJ that went at you for something and then you guys were talking about like graffiti. I want to know like what was the history with the.
I mean, the history of graffiti is that my homies are like a big graffiti thing. I mean, some of my homies do PPP, Peter Pan Posse. It's a full time job, not giving a fuck. You'll never grow up. And like we just like did like big graffiti stuff, like they fucking like crazy tag, New York Post, like everything, Mint, Surf, Fame. Like they started that stuff. My boy Slut, that's one of my best friends, and just like they were really heavy graffiti people. And, like all love to my homies. Sometimes it's extraneous graffiti people I don't fuck with. But it like very big in the New York graffiti and art and club scene. And I was just a very big part of that,
Right.
And I would just do that. But I don't do art. Like I don't do graffiti. I can barely write my name. You know what I'm saying? I just like to do drugs and party and
Right.
and I like to be in the fucking afters, the goonery, and like these are what my homies do. You know what I'm saying? So I was in it for the wrong reasons. It's not trying to say like oh I got no. It's like no. I like to wild out and smoke dust. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like I don't like it, so I had to stop smoking dust.
Right. We need to
Basically,
get a
that's what
counter
happened.
on that phrase on this chat today. Uh, no, I mean that's fair. I think the biggest thing you can do is know yourself. I mean, if that's
Yeah,
what your friends do and you fuck with it and you fuck with those people, then obviously you're gonna be around it. Um, yeah, like I appreciate art, like visual arts. I can't do it.
yeah.
I can't do it for shit. Like I
No,
know what I like.
yeah, you have to know your skill, and that's the thing. You have to always respect people's skills. Like yo, like sometimes DJs do this thing where they don't respect stuff because they think that what their thing is that they think it's the most interesting thing. That cause, like you spend hours of time on it.
Right.
Like DJs won't respect vocalists. DJs don't respect photographers. It's a whole thing that tends to happen. And it's also a computer nerd thing in general. You think that you're only look at one section of genius in which you think because you think you're smart and stuff like that, where you're not looking at everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like not really, and that's a very bad issue about intellectualism, intellectual ego. I
R-
like to talk about.
right.
That's an issue that people tend to do. You know,
Yeah,
they don't
that's
respect others.
that's a good
Like
point.
people like they don't nerds, computer nerds don't respect hot people and athletes. And
Are you sure?
there is no, yeah, no, yeah, you hear it all the fucking time. You will see somebody of slightly average intelligence who has like a sort of degree or something like that, and they'll be reminded like I have a degree. What do you have? You have to like use your body. I think well, okay, if you want to look at this statistically, you might have something in the slightly average intelligence or something like that. But that body and that athlete is in the top 1-2% of the thing.
Right.
So who gives respect to you because you got a degree? You fucking jizz off fucking degrees like it's nothing. You
Right.
have to respect that. It's still all God given stuff. And
Yeah.
there's still hard work that goes into that,
Yeah.
but you're really not really respecting that on the same thing. You think it's different, but it's more interesting. No, it's not.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, you can't refute that. I think that it it comes out that manifests in different ways in conversations where like people often say like I can't believe like some athlete or NBA player is making 30 million, 50 million.
Exactly.
And I always
Exactly.
counter I'm like, well, if they're those 0.01% of their field, and how much is the industry worth? You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Exactly,
So
exactly. How much money are they worth like that? And like, what's the replacement? And people don't ever really get the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
Now if they want to say how to come they get paid that, and teachers don't get paid that. We could say, okay, teachers don't get paid enough, and we
Absolutely.
need to get because money's fake, so we need to get more money to teachers.
Right.
Besides that, please don't say these motherfuckers playing basketball and they don't deserve this fucking money because they do deserve that. Real
Right.
talk.
That's an interesting one with when I recently had that conversation. I was like, what about Calvin Harris? He gets, he was getting $1 million per show, probably more now until they shut it all down for his
Yeah.
residency, in Vegas,
And like
the private jet and everything.
at Omnia and all shit. Yeah, he's at Omnia. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was like that. I don't know that maybe with sports contracts are like public knowledge. You can look it up and see who makes what. And with
Yeah.
DJs, sometimes
It's
they do
really-
like DJ Mag lists of like gross earnings. I don't know if those are accurate. I don't really follow
Yeah,
those.
no.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen some contracts, obviously, but I don't know that the average person knows how how that what the people Tiesto or I don't know who are Calvin and
But yeah, like, I mean, like they'll hit the Forbes list and
Snake.
like Calvin Harris made $30 or $40 million. Like that's what they'll say. And every time I see those things, I'm like, I think they made more money than that. Like, every time I see this stuff, I'll be like, I think they made more money than that. Like,
Yeah.
I'll see, like, I'm like, It's like, you think Diplo? I was like, I think Diplo made more money than that.
Yeah.
I think Diplo made more money than that. I sort of see how you map it up. I think he made more money than that.
It's yes and no because I love to be able to play both sides on that because I also know. I mean, we both know how many people you're paying on that for your team. There's a lot. The family has
but
to eat.
no. They're taking it as the industry. As when they do those earnings, though, when they do those earnings, it's how much it brings in. They don't do this conductions.
No, it's gross. It's always gross. Yeah.
It's a gross.
Yeah.
I just think the gross is higher than that.
Yeah.
And okay, you only made you brought home 10 million, and if you made 10 million gross, you only brought home 3 million. I'm sorry.
True. Three if you didn't get ripped off anywhere along the way, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can only buy one Bugatti.
Is that a good investment if you're taking three? I've been because like, what are those start at 6 figures, right? Upwards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to drive, so I don't really care.
You
But,
don't-
I mean, I remember when Little Baby was on the rap, say he said, yo, he said, I bought a Lambo just to lift the dough. He don't even know how to drive.
Wait,
And I
what?
feel that. He's like he bought a Lamborghini. He's like, I don't even know how to make the motherfucking dough. I just wanted to lift the doughs. And I was just like, yep, I respect that. Money's fake. Money's fake, and you can die anytime. Fucking investment.
True.
Spend that shit. You see niggas dying all the day out here. So why the fuck you care? Like, it's like, yo, I got fucking gear for years on here. You know what I'm saying? People like, you spend all your money on gear. I was just like, niggas die every day in the fucking streets, my nigga. I can fucking die right now. So why not fucking spend this fucking money on fucking gear in the fucking strip club? Fuck out of here.
So it sounds like material things are not like a super high priority on your list. Or
Well, I got all the gear I want. I want more gear. I buy stuff all the time, but I don't care. I wear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to ice out my mouth. I want to get a chain, but I also don't care. You could take it off me if I get the money after a certain point, because I've been making money for like a long time because I was
Right.
fucking trapping. So
Yeah.
once I made a certain amount of money, I don't even care. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, it's like I made money at a young age. I realized like I can't with no money that it's all fake past a certain point.
Right.
You know, what over 100K, everything's all the same. You just take more vacations and your house gets bigger. It doesn't really matter. You're
Oh,
fucking
okay,
rich.
yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll cross that threshold hopefully at some point and let you know if I agree.
Well, I mean, I'm not at that point right now, but like when I'm saying like when I'm selling drugs and stuff like that, I was like at that threshold.
Right,
like, I was
right.
Tax free, and then like off like fluctuating, getting close and stuff like that. I'm just like, it's all you just everything's rich after a point. It don't really matter. Like
How-
it doesn't really matter.
How did you go like if I mean clearly, earning is something that you think about. How do you go from like trapping to music? It seems like it sounds like a stupid question. I don't mean it
because
that way.
While I was trapping, I was able to fund the music because I was able just to like buy gear and I could sit at home and make beats and like DJ shitty shit because I'm selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to make a living off of making. You can make
It
a
was
living
your.
off of
It's a
making
day job.
$400 a
You
week.
had the day job. It was your day job.
A day job and night job.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. No, I
fucking
know,
sell
but you
drugs
know,
all
just
day. Yeah, yeah.
draw.
It was a day job, and like, but yeah, but the one thing is that which I had to like start, which I learned how to become radical acceptance and like to really love my life. That's why I was like, I love like just rapping and stuff like that. There was a time when I was not making DJ money like I was making off the fucking trap money. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then doing that started to fuck with my mind, you know, because as you watch these people, like you like all these people get all this fucking crazy money and doing all this stuff like that, and you're like, I need to do that, and you start being in competition. I was like, no, man, I just should be really happy if I can actually make a living, make a little middle class life off of rapping. I shouldn't be in these kind of weird things. I just like, with like growing older and radical acceptance and stuff like that,
Right.
because like, because like when you're making like I missed it. All for the longest time, I missed the fucking trap money. It was like the worst, even though I don't like being in jail and stuff like that, but I like would miss it. But like, sure now.
What would you say to there's that common trope of like artists have to should separate like the commercial like aspect. When you're making, I think maybe more when you're starting out, and some people hold that for most of the careers, but it's a tough go. Is like not think about the commercial aspect, or not even getting into the selling out, but just like that aspect. And how do you reconcile that whole concept?
No, I think. See, I never believed in that. I never believed in that. See, I believe that I like Michael Jackson growing up. You know what I'm saying? I like Biggie. Those people sell fucking big records. You know what I'm saying? When you make music, you want as many people to listen to as possible. Unless you do a kind of certain avant-garde sort of thing. You know what I mean? But you always, it's not about having your worth be in what's commercial, but I am always trying to make stuff I want as many people to hear as possible for the thing. And I think when you're starting out, the issue is not about trying to be commercial or be that is that or be yourself is that when people try to be commercial starting out, they start copying. And that's what you don't want to do because now you won't make money that way. You know what I'm saying? Like if you right now try to be like I don't know who's got the number one song in the world right now. Who knows? Who knows? We can fucking look it up on the fucking internet. But like if you try to be that person in the top 10, you're not gonna fucking pop off because you're learning and you're gonna be behind. You know. And also since money is fake at this point in life, you don't even need to aim to that. You just need to make as much people like your stuff as possible so you can make a living. But it's good. I'm trying to do the best stuff always. I want everybody to listen to my stuff.
Mm,
I want you to tell your friend about it and do this and that
mm.
for like what it is. You know what I mean? Like when I was like getting myself popping in the beginning, I was doing Stevie Nicks remixes, man. Kind of new DJs would play that. I don't listen to fucking Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
You think I fucking know? No, I just fucking Google fucking white people. My name's
yeah.
Dancing White Girls, man. My name's Dancing White Girls, man. I don't give a fuck about that shit, man. I'm just doing this fucking shit that people fucking like.
Let
Like so, like that's why I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like honestly.
I yeah. I can appreciate that for sure. It's like every 6 years, someone does an edit of Dreams, and or it was going to the top of like whatever High Machine SoundCloud, or
Yeah.
getting everyone's sets. We need to take a second here and like where does your artist name come from, and what is its significance?
Dance to White Girls is a reference to the 1990 Kevin Costner movie Dance to Wolves, which is a white savior, pale savior movie where he plays a man who goes and saves Native Americans from their life in the war and stuff like that. We are epic and stuff like that. Very classic. So my name is because house music is a very black and Latin art thing. Comes from like that's what it comes from, and it has really started changing and stuff in that era. I was like, I'm dancing to the white girls. Be like, I'm just trying to take this shit back. That's all. That's like every time it's like I'm always talking about the appropriation of the music. Right?
Right.
I'm not. It's not. I'm like not being token. I know we're taking this shit back. And there's lots of fucking young niggas come up right now who be fucking killing shit all day right now. Like Swisher, Beyonce, fucking Susie Analog, Olive Peter. There's mad niggas doing shit right now who you like fucking popping. At that time, it really wasn't like that during the Hollywood era. I was like the only nigga around doing that shit. So my name's kind of outdated, but it still stands for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny because when you talk about that era of Kevin Costner, not that we never get to talk about
Yeah.
this. I was thinking of Robin Hood. I was like, were
oh,
you a
no,
Robin Hood
okay.
fan?
Oh, you want to talk old Kevin Costner? First of all, let's talk about it. One, Waterworld. Everybody should watch that movie if you love sci-fi. Everybody
People,
should watch Waterworld.
it's so
It's
hated on.
trash.
Why is it so hated
a
on?
horrible. It's a horrible movie, but it kind of fucks. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
like
you like
it.
Dune? You probably like Dune. You probably like Dune.
I've never
mostly.
watched Dune.
Okay, it's trash. Don't watch it.
Okay.
But still, you should watch it though. You know, if you like Waterworld, you can watch Dune.
Okay,
It's
okay.
kind of that sort of thing. You can kind of rock with it.
Yeah, no, maybe I like Waterworld
Oh,
because it got such bad reviews, and I was like, this cost so much money, and they were just on this like oil rig or whatever the whole time.
see, and that's why I like it more than anything else. As an artist now,
Right.
I love that you can give me $100 million after I already lost money to lose money, and that inspires me more than anything else.
Right.
Give me $100 million so I can fucking be on Water and not make any fucking money to give it again because you believe in me. That's what I want.
What? I mean, that's the thing. It changes when you got a bunch like a big bankroll behind you though, because then those people will have something to say maybe about like how. So with the records that you've made, like
Yeah.
how many compromises have you made within those records, or when you do it like more on the feature side, is you like with, for example, our record with From the Back, you just sent like one shot, and then I kind of chopped and like rearranged it. I didn't do too much, but I did a little.
I mean, that's how I do most of this stuff.
Okay.
I just do. I one take it all. I will one take and do all the inflections. You know.
Yeah.
I like it, you know, like and I actually, 'cause I think I played it. I had written that song already though.
You did what?
I had written that song already though.
Okay.
So like that was the original thing that I had done.
Got it.
But then I'm like, but I sort of liked it. But then I like did it on your thing. Like not even that was because I don't resend the vocals out.
Yeah.
Like I have a version of that I recorded over my own beat, but that acapella is not what you got. Like
You
I
just
went and
tracked it.
beat it. Like, I felt the vibe and like I added some stuff and everything like that. You know, it's like there's no compromises on that song. Like our song that we have is like there's no compromises. At
Right.
that point, you chopped up some shit like that, and like it always is like that. Like you know, there's not really any crazy compromises outside of that. I try to like give people what they want per se. You know, it's and the compromise sometimes is that I will watch songs not do as well because I give them what they want because they're trying to get, you know, like they're paying me, so I'll do that.
Right.
And sometimes people's goals because you know I do certain kinds of records, and sometimes people haven't done those things and they don't like. I'm like no, like you're trying to get something for the DJ to play you a couple of things like that, but I'm trying to have my shit played over and over again. 'Cause I'm not doing fucking shows. I'm trying to help you out also. Like,
Right.
I'm trying to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But okay, cool. I guess you're hearing this in your DJ world, whatever you want. And like so you don't get as many plays as you get.
Well,
Whatever.
that is
You still get a ton of plays as dances, but you're not getting what you get. You know.
that's another entire thing where I think the DJ world and like it can be a bit niche at times. Obviously, it can be like the further in you go, but
Yeah.
you know if you're on top or like climbing in your little subgenre of a scene, maybe that is like it, I don't know if you can have the best of both worlds, but sometimes it just detracts from your perspective and you know like in other ways. Like I think that's maybe why you've said that maybe you heard that in the beat that we sent over because you were like, oh, like actually, you know, my friends or other people like this more than some of the
Yeah,
other
like
stuff. Non
yeah,
EDM friends,
like,
you say.
yeah. I
What you
mean,
said.
that's why like with the song I do. If you, I was able to take something that I wrote that I liked.
Hmm.
Like I took a solo song that I liked. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that song is about a John. You know, actually, you know. Like forget my top 8, you'll be my number 1.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
I call you name, that's literally about fucking John who from the MySpace era. You know, like you know,
Yeah.
like who like who actually literally had hit me up actually, which when she heard about my fucking hospital fucking shit like that. Yeah.
Dang.
So yeah, and like, but like, it's all cool. So
Shout
yeah,
out to the
it's nice.
inspiration, the muse. It all, it all,
Yeah. So I said, yeah,
it all
yeah.
feeds the flame.
It all
Uh,
feeds. So yeah, but anyway, but so like, yeah, so it. But that is when it hits in a way that I like as in the album, but I like that song enough, the beat enough that it rocks. You know what I mean?
I'm glad, man. Yeah, I mean, so that's something that I sort of just that sort of dichotomy of the two places because
Well, yeah, yeah, because I mean, yeah, I think that's because you have the musicality that sometimes sometimes the musicality might be too much for the drop. Sometimes
mm,
in the world,
yeah,
it's the
yeah, yeah. I
musicality
feel you.
versus the
I
drop,
feel you.
which is which is where people get lost sometimes. You know, because the drop works in the club, but nobody wants to drop at home sometimes. You know, and then the musicality is really good at home, but then sometimes too musicality, unless you're
Yeah,
doing
too.
fucking trance or something,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
hit in the
yeah.
club.
Like, there's a reason why Fisher, like, that was like the biggest club. I mean, it was obviously an amazing
Yeah,
sounding record.
but
With
see, the thing about Fisher though, the thing about the Fisher thing though, is that there's actually still musicality in there on the drums.
yeah,
There
there's
still
two
is
notes.
because
There's two notes going the bass and the top.
it's
That's all you need,
it's
right?
it, it's it. That's classic funk stuff. As a person who listens to the funk, you know what I
True,
mean?
true,
That's
true.
not really crazy, you know. Like it's like even though like there could be a little bit more to add to it. I love that song, you
Oh,
know,
I'm not
Fisher and
hating on it.
Funk, for
Yeah,
sure.
but I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah. Yeah.
example.
But you know, like there's still like, but yeah. But you see, like that's they do the peak of it, and compared to others who don't do that, you know. So the Fisher is the peak. It's like, yeah, that's a drop. But then everything else in the club stuff, you'll see something on the Beatport top charts, and it'll like look like anybody listens to it on the Spotify.
Hmm.
You know, it's like some DJ might think it hits in the club, or they just buy it because I pay attention to how the Beatport charts work. You know, they chart off some bullshit.
So there's. I think that those charts, like, it's really regional based. A lot of it, like,
Oh no, it's also regional how people sell because basically you could do a remix of Funky Town
right.
in the genre of that's popping, and then it's going to hit on the Beatport
True,
charts.
true,
And
true.
then if it's a big enough DJ hit or something like that, it will hit. There's like a couple things that do hit up if it's like in this sort of thing, but
Yeah, there's
they have
definitely
no
a laziness to try and
they
climb
they
a small, like, yeah,
they
like
go
people that will go viral off of like a cover of. Back, you good?
or yeah, I'm good. Or what you could
I
do
might
is
read. I'm,
or what you could do is if you want the chart on Beatport, you could do a flip of an already popular hip hop song
hmm.
using a splice sample, and you can go number one. Then you can dive. I've been going on anyway, but like you know,
I mean, that
that's
was
how you could do it.
that continues to be a thing. It's been a thing for a while. Let's yeah. I mean, you use Splice.
I just splice all
Yeah,
day. Your sample pack kits. I use your drums all the time. Your kits hit, and you
thank
got some
you,
good little top loops.
thank you. I wasn't. Yeah, I'm liking it more now that other people that I know and respect are like, oh, I like this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it's like it's all
Yeah,
right.
but yeah.
It's
I did. It's all about how you use the spice back. Though,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Like, at this point, like when I'm like in the sample and stuff like that, like I'm just like, okay, we got everything we need. You know what I mean? Give me the string packs. I'm really in the MIDI packs right now. I'm in the MIDI all day.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
just give me MIDI all day. I'm gonna flip the MIDI all day.
yeah.
But it's all about like how you like really go inside. Like I've also been collecting drums for a long time, so I'll get take drum samples at any time because like it's a bad session. I just collect drum samples.
Yeah.
Like I just got like so I can just always like always take them. But it's just a good repository because it's very well organized.
Hmm.
You know, I could be like, okay, cool. Let me go find this Afrobeat thing, then put it on, But I'm not gonna really do an Afrobeat song, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Well,
might put that Afrobeat drum in the house thing, and then it hits
exactly.
the vibe, and that's what I'm really into. And then now I've been really into DNA sampling. That's my whole new thing.
What is
I'm
that?
into the I'm cause I, so like not just about the audio, it's about getting the whole vibe of a record, you know, and sampling its DNA. Like, if it is it sonically, is it rhythmically, if it groove wise, I'm still gonna start from the sample and so I have a place to work with.
Right.
And that's what I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm doing. And, I post stuff all the time on the grand stories like that shit hits how's it hit? I was like, yo, I'll be doing that shit DNA sample. I was like, when I did your sample pack, I fucking banged that shit out mad hit. That shit like hit crazy. Like what's that? Like, yeah, it's a
So,
fucking sample, man. Like
thanks, man.
I flipped to add some stuff in because like I found the DNA of your chords.
Mm.
I get the fucking MIDI thing off that,
Mm.
and then like instead of having like go think and do the masters on top, I use a plugin.
Mm.
Just use a plugin, so I'm like really like in tune playing this as all vibes like we're moving the whole hip hop way. It's like okay, cool. I chop this out. This works right with the drums. You know, like
It's the
you know,
new
'cause, like, that's like
sampling.
how. Yeah,
It's not just great. It's not just taking the audio. It's the same concept, but you're using the new
Yeah,
tools with this.
yeah, using the new tools and using the vibes. That's actually what you want. When I thought about making beats and stuff back in the day, I was just like, sometimes I'd want the strings, but I couldn't do it when I was making. When I was a fucking 12-year-old kid. How would I get the strings?
Hmm.
I could chop, I could do it like
You
that, but
didn't
you
have
know
this
what you
stuff.
want. You want and so that's like I just like go into it, and then now I can like sort of do everything. I'm like, I like this record, but what do I like from it? What do I like from the spice sample? And let's use that to bring it from that. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just the shuffle. I don't know, but just taking that little element and moving it forward. That's why I do. I like try to get the DNA of the record.
That makes it makes sense why you would be into hearing a Tame Impala record that like not knowing who he was, because you can hear that sort of. I mean, you've been talking about this for a while now, and I'm not like really trying to push that because the more people figure that out, I mean, I'm like quiet, like let everyone make their stupid house. Still, like we're gonna be over here
No,
pushing.
no, 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 no,
No, no,
no, no,
no.
no.
I think it's
Don't make
great
the stupid
advice.
house. Like I make the big, but like here's the thing: if you're gonna try to make the stupid house record, you gotta really like. I made something the other day where I like to listen to an old house song, and then I extracted the bass line using RX8,
Right,
and then I flipped that bass line to MIDI,
right.
changed that in, put the MIDI into the whole thing, whole new sound and everything, changed a couple chords
Yeah,
to like this hit. I was like, yeah, because it's an old house song. But it's not an old house. It's entirely different, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I make it modern for the day. And like I know it's gonna hit, it's gonna sell, you
yeah.
know? And because I talk about this on another podcast. Sorry, the shoes are kicking in, but this is dance, this is talking. Anyway,
It's all
I
good.
love talking about this all the time. What you need to do is you need to say, what do I like about it? And what do I need to change? What can
Mm.
I bring to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like your music, but what would I do better? And not better, what would I
Truth,
do different?
truth.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where the real truth is. Like, yo, I listen to fucking Top House all day. I'm like, I cannot really do that. I can't out Chris Lake, because I'm not a white guy from England,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's not a black guy from Philly. And there's some stuff that I can do some stuff with. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And again, this is my friend, or should I just think he just probably is on top of Beatport right now. But that's just also friendly music competition. As a person who plays basketball, also,
Yeah, yeah.
as you get it, you know what I'm saying? Like even though like you told me, I respected it so much, even though I got the fucked up leg, you're like, are you ready to go ball? I'm like, I can't ball. But I respect that though, as a competitor. Because like that's real competitive, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Yeah.
I would want you to come out and break my fucking ankles, right? And then off the court, I know you because you're cool. You would feed me food, and you would wrap my leg for me, and that's what you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I'm rap battling, I'm like yo, blah 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 blah, and then afterwards, my dude, if you need $50, I got you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it. And when it comes to making house music and stuff like that, and electronic music, you're always trying to compete and do different stuff. That's why I try to go, instead of the copying, try to be like, I'm trying to make this sort of thing. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do something different and come to competition and bring the whole flips and stuff like that, and that
Right.
and and that's just even in jazz that happens. That's why jazz got so complex. It's like how many layers of math can we get on it? Metals like that too. It's like so crazy, and that's what I'm always about. It's like how can we flip it up more? You know?
How can you flip it more? Yeah, and make it yours. I think that's
Yeah.
the challenging question, because like now, we've discussed this before, but with all the streams and everything, and everyone's giving you their sauce. It's like the trick is not, because no one cares if you can sound like I don't know, Disclosure or Oliver. It's like they already gave
Yeah.
you. Everyone can do that now. Plus with the samples, but then like
Yeah.
what they already
Yeah.
exist.
What's different?
What's different? Like why should anyone care? And it's like I saw someone we were doing these demos and we were like, all right, cool, and which we're gonna get to today. But someone that's been sending them in is like a really good producer, but they all sound a certain way. They all sound like straight like of an era of like a couple of different artists from one era, and is like cool, like good production, very musical, but like the feedback that we shared was like, how can you add something here to make it like something in 2020 or to make it different? Like, why would you just want to be a diluted version, a Kirkland brand version of that? And someone in the chat was like, you know, it's respectable. Someone else was like, it's respectable enough to do a good imitation of a producer. Like, and it's like, I mean, maybe if you want to get like a couple gigs, like maybe, but there's a ceiling. Like as a business, from a business decision,
As a life of the cycle thing, I mean, as you know, like we've seen it happen. You know what I mean? It's like you could do some Moon Time. Where's the Moon Time producers? You know what I mean? Where's the Jersey Club producers? You know what I mean? Where's the old Skrillicists? You
Sure.
know what I mean? Like you know, where's the Complextro? You remember Complextro?
Yeah, yeah.
Complextro?
Yeah.
And it's so it's like yeah, it's a bit it's like what more it's also as a learning thing, you know, it's like what can you really do? You can always it's like when you go to an art lesson, there's art courses all the time where fucking middle-aged people go and drink wine and learn how to draw a painting.
Right.
That's tutorial culture. But can you create a painting besides that? You know, what's the basis of it? Do you really know how to mix paint you collect? Do you know the history behind it? You know what I'm saying? And that's what the problem is with people learning in a way like that. You know, it's like that. I watched this close this stream. I'm like, okay, cool. There's some cool tips, but actually, like Howard's a little bit behind on stuff. But like the real thing is that fucking Howard is fucking amazing. No, guys fucking great on the fucking keys, and they're good songwriters and they're good choices. Everything that's gonna make you really disclosure, they aren't showing you. You know, like it's like yeah, what are you gonna do? But you don't got fucking guy going playing on the keys, so you gonna get a fucking ill drum loop and like buy this fucking plugin like UAD that he got.
Right.
But it don't matter because guys not on the keys.
It's
Guys not on the keys.
Yeah, it's the decisions. Yeah, no, they've made great decisions like from the early, and we talked about this on the Discord a little bit. Like there's the early demos showed how much growth. Like if you remember like the Tenderly when they did like just the Jesse Ware What's in Your Head before they had anything, and I remember hearing that and showing it to everyone I could find.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about the soldier? Keep this. I got Latch like through the promo stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I got because I did blog stuff. I get everything mad early in my promo stuff.
Yeah.
And I was playing it at my fucking Saturday night gig.
Yeah.
Every time, and all the time, random people will come up to me and say, "What is this song?"
Right.
Before it even got big, I was like, "Yeah, fuck, this shit's trying to hit."
That's how you know.
And,
Yeah.
and like not even knowing, and then like Grammys and stuff, they like for months, every fucking time. And that's what I aim for. I started playing my stuff at the song. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. It's like, oh, you know what's funny about it? A song. I used to play a version of "Make It Clap" that I did with Wookie. That's the Wookie. Oh, that came on Mad Decent. And I used to play it in the fucking club at my top 40 day. Now I gave him the acapella later, but I know it hits because it works there.
Yep.
They don't know it's me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want to really aim for.
Yep.
It's just natural, you know.
Yep.
And like that's what they have. And it's also, but like to bring it down, my issue when I talk about this stuff about is that you might never ever learn guys' key stuff, and I'm always like trying to talk about ways that people can break past that. That's why I try to talk about software skills so you can break past that. You know, there's lots of ill tools and stuff that you can use to break past that, because you're never going to have that about years and stuff, but you sort of know what you want, though. With the real production is you know what you want. You know what I mean? Like Quincy, Quincy is a great jazz.
But the executive production type.
But that's what you want to do now.
Yeah.
Using today's technology is what I'm trying to bring people to. You know? And because, you can't really play those keywords, but you know you want the keyboard solo. So what can we use to get you to that?
There's also so many people out there, Fiverr on the gram, that would just do or sound better. You can make it a real person to do it as well for like $50, whatever.
That's what I'm talking about. That's real. That's just what I'm just trying to get people
the home.
into.
Yeah.
And so they're thinking about what do you need and moving that to an actual production thing. instead of sitting in front of a keyboard and be like, how do I figure this out?
Right, right,
It's
right.
like, no. It's like, no, you don't want that. And then, like, that's why I love that you want to reach for the ultimate demo, because like, I'll make a demo, I know it hits. I was like, you know what, though? It's not done. This does sort of need, my joke is always, it's the Harlem Boys Choir. Like, the Harlem Boys Choir is always my joke because it's like, they're dumb expensive,
Okay.
like, I know it's major. I'm like, well, yeah, but the Harlem Boys Choir need to be here, or we need a chamber orchestra. And that's what you need to like be thinking production wise,
Yeah.
and just like how do you go and broad space of that, instead of thinking like, how do we go and make this bass line or make this kick drum good? Like, no, it's already there for you. It doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, what you want to get this kick drum? So you want a kick drum that sounds like Calvin Harris? It's cool. Just steal Calvin Harris's fucking kick drum.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop fucking talking and just keep it fucking moving. You're worried too much about stuff that doesn't really matter
Keep it
when you
moving.
need to be thinking about what is the song base. It's like, have you ever read the manual by KLF?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That I'm like way back.
Yeah, yeah, way back. But like it's all the same thing. Look at Little Nas X. Look at Little Nas X. He's the manual.
Right.
Let's do a fucking hip hop trap thing, country thing, and then with a 9 Inch Nails sample. I'm on it. And just do it and put it out. It's
He's
genius.
genius
It's
with
like,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's like what I try. I like try to talk about. I read this thing on Gear Sluts about Michael Jackson. About Michael Jackson not Cassidy Chamber. He would go into a studio session and produce by just singing all the notes. He
Right.
would sing the vibe, because like the thing is, we all sort of know that if you really like the music, if you DJ and do stuff like that, you sort of know everything you want. There's just lots of times, lots of things on like levels of like skill, if it's like if you're not mathematically inclined or history inclined, that are stopping you. And there's tools to get you past that. It's because like it doesn't really matter. It's like DJing. It's like people get so mad about sync. You know what I mean? Like,
I
guess what
used to.
though? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like sync is like cutting. Like, yo, my boy Rock was talking about, like, it's like, yo, anybody can learn how to cut and stuff like that. But to make a take people on the journey, the history and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
it's different. Like, no, it's like, no. This DJs who can do mad stuff, but I'd actually rather give it to a random person at a house party who knows music and just give them a fucking YouTube, and they get this shit jumping more than the craziest DJ out there. You know?
It's about flow, man. Because half the time the person
Yeah.
that's asking for the aux cord is like gonna just clear the entire party out too. So
Oh, yeah, but yeah, that's because lots of times people ask for the aux cord, and it's like it's a thing of ego. It's
uh,
not like looking around. Like, sometimes people will be like, "Yo, put something on." Like, what do you want me to put on?
right.
Do you want me to put something on for these people who are around, or are you trying to put something on because you want to hear what I would be into? You know. But also, though, it's like, when I might be into it, anytime like I listen to Meek Mill and fucking Little Baby, that's not for this environment. You don't want me to put anything on. That's what people do when they on DJ. You go put on some fucking stupid shit on,
Right.
or they do because like they that's only listen to one thing. It'll be fucking 6 a.m. and you go to the fucking house like, yeah, put it on the aux cord. It's fucking operator. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Put some Maceo Plex on, my guy.
I
I'm
wonder,
half a
man.
gram.
Do you ever get sick? Like, what was the point? Probably when you came out here, for sure. Like when you just started walking to different places and hearing your voice. Like, did it just get old, or
I
you're
love that.
like,
I'm a fucking club guy. I fucking play my shit every fucking club.
you
I
don't?
want to walk in the fucking club and hear my fucking shit everywhere you go. Come on, yeah, I'm a fucking club guy. That's what you fucking go for. You know what I'm saying? When Biggie's in the fucking club, I walk in the fucking sound.
So
I would walk in this fucking shit. I walk in the VIP. I hear my shit in the fucking club. That's what the fuck I want. It's fucking rap music. That shit
right?
don't get old to me. They play at the right time.
That's the right
I
answer.
love that shit.
So,
I'd never get fucking old. I'd never get old of that shit. I fucking reposted a clip right now. No, I think I want the electric slide.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like at the end, because that's what I know is being good. That's my ego more
That's
than anything.
yeah.
Is
That's
being
the
good
bar.
at shit. That's why I play chess. I like to beat people. You know what I'm saying? Like the money and stuff is cool because it allows me to do something like that, but I like to know I'm good at
Wait,
stuff.
are you
That's
playing?
what
Are
I
you
like.
playing chess for money, or am I just
No, no, no. I'm not saying the music money is cool.
okay? Okay. I was
I'm
like,
saying, but my drive
yeah,
is to be good at stuff, not the accomplishments or anything like that. I'm trying to be good at stuff,
of
and
course.
that gets my dick harder than anything else. And so
Right.
I like that. And so I mean, you're doing club music, you hear this shit in the club all the time. Like, go get that. And the money is cool too, cause like I got money coming because I do fucking club hits, but it's great.
Right, right, right.
It's good doing. like doing club stuff during this time is good because I ain't fucking like really worried about stuff like being a clubber and trapper. My life is okay, but it's all right, you know.
Are people? I mean, you said that you're constantly receiving requests
Water
to work
folks.
on stuff. Uh, are the requests like? Are people being like something a little less mad festival right now? Can you do? Can you give us like the emo dances or like what is that? Has the quarantine
No,
changed
well,
the
no,
style?
no. I've gotten that from people who I actually work with.
Mm,
You know, like from people who are my friends we work with when we talk. You know, like I gotta go to the studio on some Walker Roy shit later. You know, like we talk. We had a whole hour vibe and stuff like that. We're still trying, but also we're trying to do that. But like, no, people still ask for the same thing because we know quarantine's gonna be over at some point. By the way,
in theory, yeah.
most people, most requests, people are kind of they don't really know what they want per se, and like people aren't necessarily like they just want the club stuff, you know. So
Mm,
which I want the club stuff at all times.
hmm
I only want the club stuff too, but it's just they what I want to charge people is to go. You just don't want operated because that's sort of been done, you know.
Yeah.
And the challenge is when I try to explain to people like, no, this is a little flip on this. This is what people are like, you know. It's kind of hard to explain that sometimes.
I mean, you know what you want and what you do best, but then you're constantly like still figuring out ways to evolve, which I think is probably
Yeah,
a state of mind to really aspire for any level of artist or
I mean
producer.
that's the real goal because if not, that's when I think people start getting into the real like the money and the substances thing because you're not involved in any other place, you know. So you start going for stuff that doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? Whereas like it just I feel you have to once you get reach to a level of proficiency, find ways to evolve just to keep yourself going, you know? Because like, why not give yourself a challenge? That's why people play video games, you know, because they give yourself a challenge, you know, just to keep your mind working. Nothing more than that.
Yeah.
That's why it's not even like the boredom. It's like no, because if you pay, it's worth it like that. Like people go through work and boredom, you know, that's whatever. Like you do the same over and over again. But you're outside of that, you know, you have to find new challenges, you know. That's why sometimes you get new software, you get new instruments, you know, you try new genres. That's where you try to find the challenges,
hmm
you know. And and what I try to also do when I talk to musicians, I also say sometimes you have to find the challenges outside of the music. You know what I mean? Like I've taught myself to animate. I've gotten paid to do animated music videos. You know what I mean?
Sick.
Like I sometimes go into like yeah, I've gotten into like video and film and stuff like that. I will never ever be a director, but it gives me a new challenge to move the mind and try new things, and then you
Yeah.
can move in different things. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I like to cook. You know, I'm never opening a restaurant.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will never be like a person who's trained. I suck at chopping stuff, but it looks good and it tastes good, you know. And like in those, and then you can move those things and use those challenges for every other thing, and because when you start going after a certain point, you can only make house music to a certain level, and it'll be good. And you have to start looking for challenges in other ways, you know.
Yeah.
You and that's what I and then once you have that, then maybe you can start adding it to your art. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even if it doesn't directly affect you, something about how it shapes your perspective. Like if you in quarantine, I'm like just been on like the same place for so long that uh like I left the house like one day to go from Culver to Venice, and I was like, Jesus, I need to like just leave like my neighborhood more often. Like even if I go for runs or whatever, like I was like, I'm going like there's a reason why you get like kind of
Okay.
blocked up, right?
But here's my question though for you though, Pete. This. Where do you usually produce?
Where?
Yeah,
So I have a studio out back, just in the it's like converted garage.
cool. So maybe you need to if you go to a block sometime, maybe you need to produce from your couch.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah. I mean,
you,
kind of
you know
wherever.
I'm not
Yeah.
yeah like wherever no it's not about saying that it's about just providing breaks in the blocks.
Hmm.
You know, like just different changes. What you might get something if you have a block. I'm not saying with you.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
saying in
No.
general. You
Yeah.
know, especially in times like this. You know, what I mean, like you provide like different changes and stuff like that. Like, have you ever looked at Brian Eno stuff of Brian Eno has these thing about blocks, right? It's I forget oblique strategies. Brian Eno's Oblique Strategy.
I've heard of that book. I haven't read it. I need to
Yeah,
look.
so sometimes it's like do something in reverse, you know,
Oblique,
and
like your abs.
uh, yeah, oblique OBLIQUE strategies.
Dope. I'll
It's
put that
just
in
a
the
list
chat.
of cards of different things you can do. But I think in the digital era, sometimes it's the same thing, but you also have to be like, like sometimes you change your environment. You have a laptop. Maybe when you take that drive, you do that drive to go to the beach,
Yeah.
and then you take your laptop and you say, I'm going to write something. It might not be good, but it's just going to give you a challenge while you look out there, No, and like you don't need drugs or nothing around, those are the things which will allow you to break in these things. And this is a person who, like, I've dealt with the isolation. When I was in the hospital, I saw nothing. So then I fucking got crazy lights. My room was like a fucking rave all the time.
Right.
And all the time, I had fucking crazy lights going so I could feel like I was in the club.
Right.
But ever stop and then stop that. Just anything to do that. And those were the things that would help you to break stuff down. Like, I'm doing shrooms right now, but you don't really need to do shrooms.
You
You gotta
can.
be
I
like,
mean, I it
no,
yeah.
no, you can, but I'm saying that just allows your mind to change the pattern. Maybe you just need to go like, I turn the lights off.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, if I have to work, I have to be dipped down in designer. That's for my vibe. I have
Mm-hmm.
to wear shoes. I can't, if I'm not wearing shoes, I can't get the vibe for
Hmm.
people being inside. But even when you're trying to break down and find challenges and stop what you're doing, you're like, walk outside, do it.
Yep.
Those will help you break the stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Switching it up and documenting like what. The more I write down, and I don't write things down regularly, or I make notes. It's different even on like a computer than like actually writing stuff down. It's like, and it can be either like a to-do list or it can be just an idea for something else that I might want to apply. Maybe it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. Like all of that stuff, I feel something about it like lodges itself in our brains that
Yeah,
as creatives is very.
yeah.
I think it
No, I mean,
nurtures the inspiration because sometimes like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the writing down stuff is, I call that creating problems. It's like, did you used to play Mad Libs as a kid? Did you
Mad
do Mad
Libs,
Libs,
yeah,
the Mad Libs book? And that's why I try to like do stuff that you write something down like, let me just do this. It gives you a starting point. Even if
yeah,
it doesn't do nothing,
yeah,
it
yeah.
gives you a little thing that you go from quit, because like
Foothold,
at a certain point you have to create problems for yourself because you don't really know. It's gonna be like, or you'll be like, oh, okay, cool, I gotta get in the right vibe. Over the fucking whole quarantine, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
right,
You don't really know, but I know you. It's like if you like something, you write it down or something like that, or like,
right,
or you just like, or sometimes you're like, we're like spicy. Let's make a spicy song today. I don't know
right.
what that means though, but
Could
we
be any.
already started from
Mm-hmm.
something. Make a sweet song,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then we have something to work from.
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem to figure out, and that's how you will keep on getting stuff going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100, man. That's even as you said that. Like they're like writing prompts, and I've never looked at it that way. But that's a very easy way to do. Yeah,
Easy, no problem to think about it. You
like
know,
yeah, because if someone was like, I understand that in other contexts. If someone was like, I have a 90s dance project, but I want you to ghost produce it. I'd be like, sure, I can have the whole record for you done today. Like, if you're like
so
solving an issue, like, you're like, cool, drum and bass, like, sure, I can do that. But then if it's just you and you're opening computer, like, well, what am I going to write today? Then it's like the weight of the world and the
yeah,
endless possibilities you're not sure about.
that's why for my stuff I have a list of intended. I do also do intended environments.
What?
Intended environments and crowds and communities.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so make a record that two girls hanging out in a bathroom
Mm,
who are on a disco and want to listen to and talk to. Make that record for them.
right, right, right.
Start moving, and like and so that's what you will is. You know what I mean? That's like what I started doing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like I try to make music for pedicab for my album, like pedicab festival drivers. It's for like my album for they play a certain kind of music. You know,
Right.
like they do. I mean, and that's why like when you talk about taking notes, that's important. I will take mental notes and stuff. I will watch people and then okay, you do this, you do that, and
Right.
then watch it to bring it to. That's why I tweet so much to like then bring it to myself later in the whole time.
Right.
So I have a whole list of things to go work under. That's like what what you want to work for.
No, that's clearly a successful strategy. That's you're not the first person I've heard mention that. Be like writing music with a very specific environment and intention, placing it, whether that's time or a setting, and I think that's
Yeah.
way more helpful.
Way more, way more. And think about time. Also, another thing I like to talk about is when people start doing my cats here. When people start trying to do fucking like retro stuff and stuff like that. I try to think about what somebody would do instead of trying to be like how to sound like them. Imagine what they would do with today's technology. You know what I mean? If you think about it, this all comes back when people start scratching a record and moving stuff back and forth. So you're moving, so and they're using that stuff. So what would you do with this technology they have now? What would you if you just like try to do it the wrong way?
Hmm.
Like what would you do?
Sure.
I
Sure.
use this one plugin that's like just for fucking bass and
Y-
like percussion stuff,
Yeah.
but it's a resampler. I use Backbone by Steinberg, and like it's just all for percussion and stuff like that. And right there for like I'm now using it for bass sounds because
Right.
it still moves and pitches everything. And like I just did a record with Jack Beats and my homie Kid and Bobby, and like I started with just the whole thing with that. Like it would took too much to go a different way. It's like I'm using it in the wrong way. That's the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The, the 303 was not made to create acid. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't made to do that. What Skrillex was doing with modern talking and stuff like that was not designed to do that.
Right.
Like it was, but it wasn't. Nobody really knows, and you just want to go and you just like try something new because it's there. Flip it, reverse it, walk outside, do something.
Right. Right.
Nobody
Right.
said you had to do that. Like people do tricks and sample rate all the time. Who knows? Just try it out. I hit a button. My one thing that I hate the most in a session and where I feel creativity or just in general, and when I say, hey, let's try this out, and somebody says no,
Hmm.
and it doesn't hurt anything to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, okay, cool. I guess we don't want to try it out, man. We can hit the beat. We can do whatever. Like even when I'm cooking,
Yeah.
sometimes I will try out something. It's fucking trash. Like 3 weeks ago, I tried pickles in a quesadilla. It was the worst decision of my life. It
Pickles.
was whole. Yeah, it was the worst decision of my life. It was horrible. Pickles in the quesadilla.
I
It was
would.
horrible.
I respect the thought though,
No,
because that
no,
could have
no,
worked.
because yeah, because they do pickles on pizza now. Like I've seen it kind of popular, so I decided to try it out. It was a horrible decision,
Right.
but but the trying, you get to other levels.
Right.
Like that was a bad experiment, but it's cool. Whatever. I ate some bad pickle on quesadilla. Okay, my life's not ruined. Like
Right. They have
you
a
you
saying
you
in like improv, or maybe it's when people are starting out in improv. Is like you have a bunch of people and it's wherever it goes, and it's like the one thing that you can't say is no,
exactly.
even if you
No,
want.
no, no. It's funny that you talk about it. Improv is literally works the same way. It's prompts. And then it's the
Right.
collaboration. You give somebody, you take something back. I'm so happy. I like. I will study stuff like improv also.
Right.
Even though I've never really been to class, it's all the same thing about the artistic methods.
Right.
And you want to like go. It's like when actors. I talk about this about warming up. You know, I talk when producers and people produce. I say sometimes you need to warm up. What you need to do is you go, okay, cool. I'm gonna make a 4 on 4 drum beat
Right.
first.
Right. Right.
Because that's what you do. If a fucking piano player is gonna go, they're gonna go fucking play their scales. If a vocal is gonna go, or like an actor will go like go shout and go like "Ah!"
Right.
that was just that's just how people go to sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the mushroom song. That's what people do. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
and and then I will do that stuff though still before I do vocals,
Right.
I will go through the whole thing. I will literally do karaoke before I go do vocals
To
as a
warm
whole
up. Yeah.
warm up.
Yeah. No, that
As a
makes.
whole warm up, and that just a whole thing. I actually I'm very big in the whole thing as art and process. I did ballet one time. I did like a whole dance thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the most hardest artistic challenges I did is I had to do silent interpretive dance in a group on a
Jesus.
stage in front of people. Silent interpretive with a
That's
group. And then
Terrifying.
sometimes I would go and just dance with a professional ballet for the New York ballet dancer, and just go and vibe and groove.
Dope.
And that was I got paid for that. I'm in the New York Times for that, but then still that opens your mind up to the new stuff and this other thing, you
Right,
know?
right, right.
That but like but still it's like you just have to like we warmed up for that and you still warm up for that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what when you're producing and stuff like that, you got that's why I try to talk about people. It's like produce and warm up like without without it being for a purpose, you know.
Right.
Because sometimes it's like, well, now it's not your production day, do your sound design day. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. But you don't really have to do that. Maybe you try to warm up for your production day. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Right.
because it's like you gotta get yourself ready. You know, if you have to arouse yourself before you're ready to have sex, and you know you have to warm. And I think lots of times people don't do that.
Right.
They don't get the whole steps and stuff like that. You know, like when basketball players shoot around.
Yeah, it's a
There's no
muscle, like athletes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I don't think that's talked about enough when it comes to fucking making beats and stuff like that. The shooting around is not really just like Kobe goes and shoots around all the time. Like they shoot around for the players. Like they say, no, we're gonna sit there and try to make a beat to make the next big beat. Like, no, man, fuck that. We're gonna come through, we're gonna freestyle, we're gonna make a little fucking beat. Like that's now we got the whole fucking vibe. And I
Right.
think sometimes people try to create a vibe, but not in a working creative vibe thing, you know? It's like no, I don't want to sit back and talk. I do want to do that, but still, it's also work, you know. Like let's not drink and eat food and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Let's like get into like the whole play while we got into it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree that like it's like when you have too much time off, you're like what the and then you start up again. You're like what the hell am I doing? You feel like you lost, you're 3 years behind in like where you were, and then you have to
Yeah.
shake off the rust.
Yeah.
I
I
know it
mean,
only
yeah.
doesn't only happen to me. It's something that you hear
No, no,
about.
no, 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 that doesn't happen to you because you do so much stuff outside the music, which like you didn't even know it. You didn't even
But it
know
does
it.
happen. Like if I have like a week off or something because I had like other shit to do, then I go back. So then like I feel that
Yeah,
there's is that balance between not make 10 beats a day, 3 summers like that bullshit. Because sure that can help you to get to a certain point, but then you have to go do the balance stuff. So then it's like, do you have like is 5 or 6 out of 7 days like making beats or writing music enough that if you're spending your time wisely and recharging whatever, then it could definitely be because
no, but here's the thing: one day is just enough. But one
right.
day is just enough to make a beast. But what I was gonna say is that you do so much stuff also on the cook-up stuff that you don't even know about. Because like sometimes you're like, now I'm gonna go play a whole show how to play this on the song. You know, like try to play the chords on this song.
Right.
You're doing the shoot around rhythms,
Right, right, right,
and you know, like you're doing those things. You
right.
already are. It's like you just don't know it. I'm talking about people. You know, like I was talking to Young Skirt about this on Twitter. You know about like on his Twitch stream,
Hmm.
he says like, "Yo, I need new loops and stuff like that." He's always remixing news. He's always shooting around. People are doing this stuff. You just don't really notice it because you sort of do it innately. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it's like I always like the freestyle. I do it innately.
Hmm.
I'm just on some like trying to like to really if you aren't go because it's not taught in a certain way to really like know to actually do this stuff.
Got it.
You know, like to outside of like what people who are at a certain point do innately because it works for them.
Yeah.
To talk about like how to actually no, be like, no, let's just do this, let's freestyle, let's do this, let's boom, let's do that, because it works in a certain way that people don't really think about, and I think that really like, holds people back. Even on professionals all the time too, you know, even on professionals all the time too, and they just don't really realize it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I guess if you have like the just that interest in in music, and I go through times where I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear anything like ever for a couple of days, and that happens, and it feels weird. I feel like an alien to myself, and then a lot of times I'm just like, you can put anything in front of me, and I'll find. I mean, I think we're similar that it's not like genres. We can see the beauty in any well-executed song and be like, this is why this goes, even if I don't know anything about the audience really.
Yeah,
You're like, I get what
yeah,
this is.
Yeah.
And that is the
Yeah.
and then let's break down why that is and what can we extract from that, like this the soul, or like you were talking about, like the DNA, the sampling, that type of concept,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
uh
that and also the that and also the play when you're not really trying to work, when you just want to play, like okay, cool. It's like it's like I think the most pure music is like when there's always somebody like a guitar sitter who can like sort of walk in and do something like that,
right,
or the play and the sparring when it's like that will allow you to do great things, you know what I'm saying?
right, right, right,
It's like boxers will that make millions will hit will spar. You
right,
know what
right,
I
right.
mean? That's the same reason you freestyle. Same reason like why basketball players play
True.
street ball and stuff like that. And that's what when at a certain level, even on the bottom levels too, but it needs to stay and keep with that, and that will allow you to keep on making dope stuff.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
cause think about our record if we're gonna bring it to us. You know, think about how different your record is compared to everything else I did before.
Yeah. To me, it's like over here, and it's, like I
Yeah.
mean, like
No, it's just,
they're all great.
yeah,
They're all big records and like stuff that you've done. But just I know
yeah,
that like I don't really fit over in like that house world
yeah,
with all this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and I don't want to say it's like just my musical skill and stuff like that. But that's the whole point is like I tried, you know.
Yeah.
And I sparred with you. It's just like having sex, like it's like you give and take. And that's also what DJing is about.
Hmm.
It's like we talk like what does a dance floor have?
Hmm.
It's like okay, this is that and stuff like that. So when you work with that, and that will allow good stuff to go. Like that record is good. That record's doing good in the terms of number wise. If the record is good, I bought lunch for that record. I hope you have. I bought lunch for that record.
Hmm.
But that's like when you start. I took a challenge and good stuff happened,
Hmm.
and that's just all the same thing. It's like to bring it back to Kobe. Kobe will go to the record game and go try different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or I play chess, right?
Yeah.
And I might do it okay, but sometimes I play as one person who's way better than me, so I get better by playing with them. But they're trying out new stuff with me,
Mm-hmm.
and now on the lower levels, I go, let me try this opening.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, I'm only using the English opening right now.
Right.
My rating has gone down, but I'm just doing it
It's
because
like
I want to see that I want to see what I can get in that. You
right
know,
playing with only your
it's like
offhand, only your left
yeah,
hand,
only
or two
off hand,
dribbles or
exactly.
whatever.
Exactly, same thing. Kobe playing left hand, or maybe you go switch footed, but
Yeah.
that's all you do,
Yeah.
and that gives you the vibe. The same thing musically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you say, okay, cool, I'm not gonna go falsetto right now, or maybe I go, and that's where I with creative block. You go, okay, cool. So I go, let's say I go four on the floor, but on the fourth bar we're gonna make it 3-4. I don't know how that works, but we just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
We try it out.
You ask the question first, and then try and see how it goes.
Exactly, and that's why I try to go into.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Should
Is it
we?
demo time?
What's that?
Is it demo time?
Yeah. Should we? Let's get into what's up, Leah. Thanks
Yeah.
for the follow. Let's you don't have to switch up. Let's take a quick water break. We're here with dances. We're gonna get into some of your demos. Let me
cool.
put on a record, and we'll be. I should put on our record. Fuck. Where's our record? Hang on. It's like I don't have it. Hey, okay, here we go. Demos right after this.
All right, so I'm gonna listen to the demos. Cool. All right, cool.
I just wanna hit it from the back. You call me that and I give it a smack. I just wanna hit it from the back. You call me that, yeah, I think you like that. I just wanna hit it from the back. Look, you call me that and I give it a smack. I just wanna hit it from the back. I just wanna hit it from the back. You call me that and I give it a smack. I just wanna hit it from the back. You call me that, yeah, I think you like that. I just wanna hit it from the back. Look, you call me that and I give it a smack. I just wanna hit it from the back. You call me that. Forget the top
Chloe, relax, man. I'm in the fucking Zoom call, man. You're fucking